Hi there again. Notice I got the same shirt on because I'm recording another video and I'll post this one separate from the last one. But they're basically in line and I wanted to break it up so they wouldn't be like, damn near an hour long video. It'd be just two halves of one. Anyway, a couple things I want to say, and then I'll move on. I shared before about how when I met Hilarious and one of my sisters, my younger sister, my youngest sister, her and my oldest were waking up at the same time that Georgianne and I did. And when I shared that story of Beelzebub with Cynthia, my sister, she like freaked out. She considers herself a light worker, a new ager, and she does her work, but she hasn't embraced the big story yet. Not to the degree I have. Well, actually, she hasn't because she was one of the two, one of the two sisters that turned us on to ET 101, which led us to Hilarious. But they never followed through on that census form in the back, and even with us trying to share, Hilarious with them, they didn't want to hear about it. It simply wasn't theirs to do, and that's neither here nor there. But I will say this, when I shared the story of Beelzebub's expulsion with Cynthia, she like freaked out because she too went through the born again Christian experience and she was like, "Oh, don't say that word. Don't even say his name." She was fearful of the dark forces. The quote dark forces. She would barely call them the dim guys. Where Georgianne and I, because we didn't fear them, we just call them the dim guys. Still part of all that is, still part of the light, just less light, i.e., dim. Well, to her, my sister, they were the dark forces. They were ominous, and you could not even say his name. You'd be invoking his presence. It's like, whatever, hell, that energy walked around in me for most of my life, since I was 3 years old. And then I got rid of him, so who am I to fear? You know? Consider that. So, anyway, about the same time, well, I've known about Beelzebub most of my adult life, pretty much all of my adult life, up until his expulsion. Well, around the time that Georgianne and I started spiritually waking up in the early 90s, I became aware of another presence in my field. It's like, what the fuck's going on? Who am I that I know I'm not alone in here? Oh, before I go any farther, let me share this. When I talked about Beelzebub and in my field pretending to be me, I'm going to categorically say this, and whether you like it or not, you can hate me, you can unsubscribe, you can do whatever you want, but I don't care. I know this to be true. 99.9% of the people walking around on the planet are not alone in their field, and that includes you. Unless you've done a ton of work and know exactly what I'm talking about and or have experienced what I have, you are not alone in your field. There are energies and entities walking around in your field pretending to be you, and they're not you. Remember, Hilarious was aware of this about us, because that's why in the rescinding of vows, in the second step, it says, I send to the light all energies, entities, and mechanisms or distortional structures that have supported or maintained those vows, the distortional vows that you're rescinding. Entities and energies and entities. Hilarious specifically put those in that, structurally put them into that technology because he was aware of the fact that 99% of us, you guys, aren't alone in your field. Accept that or not, but that's true. I used to tell people when when you do private sessions, I wouldn't just come out and say, you're fucked up. But what I would share with them, a model that I would use is when you pop your head up spiritually and go, yes, I believe I'm a light worker. Yes, I'm here to support the planet. Yes, I'm here to assist Gaia in her next step in evolution. When you pop your head up out of the muck and mire of the mundane, everyday, third dimensional world, I used to tell people you're immediately assigned a platoon of dim guys to sit around and talk to you and spread doubt and just constantly talk shit to you and constantly make you question, you know, like like when you say it's your mental body, when I say it's your mental body, consider the possibility that it's more than just your mental body. It's something over here whispering in your ear. There's a little structure in the 3D race mind consciousness of a devil sitting on your shoulder. They call it your conscience. An angel on one side and devil on the other, and it's constantly blah 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 blah. You know, consider the possibility that you are not alone in your field. I'm not going to tell you you are, but I'm going to ask that you strongly consider the possibility that you're not alone in your field. Because you're infinitely more than just the little old you. There's a whole bunch going on about you that you're not even aware of, that you're not consciously aware of. Well, by the time that I started spiritually waking up, having known Beelzebub all these years was hanging out there somewhere, not knowing who, but knowing that he was in here and the son of a bitch was stronger than me. When I started waking up, I became aware of another energy. And it was a feminine energy. And it was like, all right, who are you? You know, first thing I'm thinking is succubus. You know, because I'm still thinking I'm just, little old Michael Green waking up, spiritually waking up. I haven't fully embraced and embodied my full multidimensionality. So I became aware of this just way out in the periphery. And every once in a while it would be a little bit stronger. Way out on the periphery of my awareness, there was this feminine energy. And it's like, all right, fuck. I'm doing all of this energy work, you know, rescinding the vows, etheric crystal removal, doing all the quote shadow work, the inner work, and expulsion of Beelzebub. And this feminine energy still there. Even after the expulsion of Beelzebub, this feminine energy is still like around and getting a little bit stronger. My awareness of her is becoming clearer. So I'm thinking, oh shit, a demonic female demon is what the first thing. And, look it up, succubus. I'm thinking, oh shit, I now got a succubus attached to me. And I'm going through a bunch of cleansings and rescinding the vows and utilizing everything I can think of to cleanse that. Still there. Finally, I asked, who are you? And she said, I'm Kim. Told me her name. And I've known this is years. I told Georgianne about it. There's this female in here that calls herself Kim. I don't know who she is or why she's here, but she's here. Beelzebub's gone, but Kim is still here, and I don't know what to do with it. All these years, all this quote spiritual growth, it's still been there. So, jump forward a bunch of years. This was like in the 90s, late 90s, mid to late 90s, going through all of this. Well, now let's go jump forward to 2012, because I got off the road in 2004, and ran local, drove local for 7 years to 2000 into 2011. Then beginning 2012, bought another truck, and I'm divorced from Georgianne now. I'm with this woman Yasko, this Japanese woman, and she's not spiritually awake at all. But we're playing house, and so my boss lies. My local driving boss, he lied on me and fired me, and so we just decided, okay, we'll buy a truck and I'll go back out on the big road. So in January 2012, that's what I did. Bought a truck and trailer and went back out on the road by myself. So for that 5 years, I'm out there by myself until I retired in 2017. Well, around 2014, 13 or 14, I'm in a truck stop, parked for the night. I'm laying there in the bunk. And you know that place where I've talked about before where you've fallen asleep, but you're not quite asleep, but you're not quite awake? I'm in that place. And I think it's called a theta state. But anyway, I'm sleeping, or I'm laying there, and in each one of us, this is how I've always viewed it. In each one of us, there's a place in your consciousness where it's just yours. It's your personal private space. All yours. When you fall asleep, you're the only one there. When you wake up, you're the only one there. It's your space. So, in my consciousness, in my head, I'm laying there in the bed, know that I'm in the bed, but I'm also in this space in my head. I know my body's laying down in the bunk, in the truck stop. But I also are in my head, in my space in my head, I'm in the kitchen of my space. My space, I'm in the kitchen. And I'm leaning against the counter and I got a cup of coffee in my hand and I'm absolutely just chilling. Got a nice pair of slacks on, some house shoes, a comfortable polo shirt or something like that. And I'm just relaxing in my space in the kitchen. And out of nowhere, I shit you not, people, out of nowhere, the kitchen opens and this woman walks in. Scared me to no end because I'm supposed to be in my private space. And in walks this chick. And I just yelled. I yelled in my head, and it was such an intense experience. I audibly heard me yelling in the bunk, in the bed, in the back of the sleeper, "Who the fuck are you?" So multidimensionally, I'm freaked out. Because at the same time she walks in and I just flat lose it, I could literally feel my body laying in bed under the blankets just burst out in sweat and goosebumps. Adrenaline just shot right into my system because I was terrified. Because I was supposed to be alone in my space. And in walks this chick. And it's like, who the fuck are you? And she walks, not just walks, she sachets. Now, if you're old school, you know what sachet means. If you're not, look it up or ask somebody my age what sachet means. It's just walking, hips swinging, just as assured as you can be. I got this. That's sashaying. This chick sashayed across my kitchen. My kitchen, opened up the counter and got her a cup to get her a cup of my coffee. And she looked over her shoulder and smiled at me and said, "I'm Kim." The moment she said that, veil removed. I relaxed. Oh, okay, I'm good. Because what was revealed with the veil being removed, and I saw it, because as soon as the veil's removed, you see it. It's called insight. You have an insight, an inner sight, your inner vision. With your inner vision, you have a sight. You see it. Soon as the veil was removed, the insight was, oh, you're my other half. That's why you can walk into our kitchen, because her sashaying was expressing, I belong here. This is mine too. That's why she walked across the kitchen, just hips swaying, just sashaying like, yeah, what's up? How you doing? Good morning. And like I'm over here freaking out, and she's just as chilled as I thought I was until she opened the door. I thought I was got this. She's my feminine nature. She's my other half. You've all heard that we all in our multidimensional selves, and even just in this, we all have an aspect of a feminine and an aspect of a masculine, where your masculine is your mental and your physical body, and your feminine is your spiritual, emotional body. We've all heard that. Well, Kim is my feminine nature. She's the other half of me. And the moment she said that, I was good. I'm going to describe what she looks like. First of all, she's a white woman. This totally blew me away. Well, I mean, when you think about it, you'd think it's absurd. But when she walked in, I saw a white woman walk into my kitchen. But I was so freaked out about the fact that you're not supposed to be here, it hadn't dawned on me, you know. And plus, I had been married to Georgianne for like 13 years. I don't know if I ever shared this, but Georgianne's a white woman. My spiritual partner, who you've known about through these videos, Georgianne, that lives in Chicago, Illinois, that rode truck with me for 11 years, she's a white woman. Looks like Valerie Bertinelli. Good-looking white woman. But she looks like Valerie Bertinelli. It's the best person I can describe, you know, famous person to give you an idea. But yeah, that's Georgianne. Okay? Well, I always thought Georgianne was my... Oh, I'm jumping ahead. Well, this is what Kim looks like. She's a white woman. She's got brunette hair, dark hair, about shoulder length dark hair, curly, full. She's about 5. This is how she presented herself to me. So this is what she looks like to her. Okay? Let's see. White, brunette, 5'6", medium body, full body, curves, the whole 9 yards. Good looking. She wears glasses and she smokes cigarettes. Go figure. But that's the image she presented to me. And that's who she looks like in my mind's eye. Because that's what I saw. And that's my other half. Well, here's the thing. I did a video on soulmates. And you notice I said plural? I didn't do a video on soulmate. I did a video on soulmates. This is my video on my perspective of your twin flame, or of the concept of twin flame. Your twin flame is not outside of you. First of all, there's no separation. We are all been taught that our soul mate is that one person outside of us that we need to run around, that we need to beg the universe to make us whole, to fulfill us. And that's what you find that all in the mainstream world. Well, within the light worker community, there's the concept of the twin flame, because the outer world, all they know is soulmate. They don't know twin flame. Well, I'm telling you, in this inner community, light worker / new age community, twin flame is not outside of you either. There again is no separation. From the big story perspective, everything is one. You don't need to beg and plead and cajole your higher self and prostrate yourself on the altar of your higher self to, oh, please give me my soulmate, or please send me my twin flame to make me whole and fulfill me, because I've read that in, comments all through YouTube. and everybody's got their perspective of twin flame, and that's okay because that's their perspective, their opinion of twin flame. But they're still talking about something separate from themselves, outside of themselves, that has yet to approach them and make them whole. You're whole simply because you are. You're whole simply because you are part of one that is. There is no separation. There's nothing outside of you that needs to make you whole, that you're less than, because that's the lie of unworthy. The second lie. The first lie is you're separate from spirit. The second foundational lie is you're unworthy. You need something outside of you to fulfill you and make you worthy. Bullshit. I'm going to call it like I see it. Balls and strikes. Just call them like I see them. And it's from personal experience. Because I have met Kim. I know who she is, and she's here with me all the time. The kicker is, she has been with me all the time. I just wasn't aware of it. I was veiled to her presence. But as time passed and my vibration raised and I grew spiritually, I became less veiled to her presence, to the point where I got to the place in consciousness I would accept it. So she walked in the damn door of the kitchen. And the veil was removed as soon as she identified herself, and I was good. And have been ever since. Hell, I revel in it now, because I don't need to. Because all these years, I thought Georgianne was my twin flame. All through the time I was on the truck, through the newsletters, through the private sessions and group sessions, all of the spiritual stuff that we did. I was under the impression that Georgianne's my twin flame. And I made all kinds of rationalizations, and thought I had a handle on it. Until Georgianne decided she wanted a divorce. Did that not throw me for a loop? My twin flame doesn't want to be with me anymore? My twin flame doesn't want to flame with me anymore? What the hell? So I had to step back and take a whole new look at it, which I didn't. I was just like, fuck. I don't know shit. Till she walked in the door. My twin flame walked in the door of my kitchen in here and identified herself. She's been with me all the time. Your twin flame is your other half. If you're a male listening to this, your feminine nature is your twin flame. And yes, she has an identity. She has a consciousness. If and when you get to the place you can get your head around that, they'll identify themselves. Because I'm saying plural, because I'm talking to you, the beings in the female body, listen to this. Your masculine nature is your twin flame. There's nothing outside of you. And here's the thing. Like, when this video's over, I've mentioned before that I physically work out, lift weights, 25-pound dumbbells, and I try to keep my physical body in shape. Because Kim told me so. This is what we're going to do. She told me, I don't want to run around in a 66-year-old man body. Because she shares this body too. She's in here too. And she goes, no, I'm sorry, but we're not going to run around with a flat ass. We're not going to run around with skinny arms and a flat chest. We're going to look good. We're going to present. She goes, and she's also perpetually 29 years old. Go figure. I guess a woman's prerogative, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I have a personal trainer in here. She won't let me go more than 2 or 3 days without working out. Otherwise she just starts badgering me. start, pointing out, look at us, look at, she won't say, look at us. We'll be in the bathroom and she'll go, look at you. And yes, we have internal conversations. We don't argue because I love her dearly, but we stay in each other's ass about shit every once in a while. And she stays on me about keeping up the physical body simply because it's not just mine. It's ours, me and hers. I don't know what to tell you, but you can't argue with yourself. It is what it is. This is my video on twin flames. Or twin flame. Your twin flame is not outside of you. Your twin flame has been with you all along. And one more thing. Say, like when I talk about the veiled aspects of your consciousness inserted by your larger selves into the linear timeline, if one of those incarnations happens to be in a female body, like for me personally, then Kim's in the front. Kim's in the driver's seat of the vehicle because it's a female body. And she's the feminine nature, so she's driving, and I'm sitting over in the passenger seat. But I'm always there, whether at any particular time she's consciously aware of it, as she's expressing through the physical body in that incarnation. I don't know, but here's just an example, and then I'm gonna cut this short a little bit. I was meditating one day about, oh shit, look, better than a year ago, and this wave of grief just came over me, and I was mourning. I was in grief and mourning the death of a young black woman in Chicago. And I mean, I was distressed, despondent. I know what it was about, because my mental body's going, we don't know any young black women on the south side of Chicago that died. And then it was pointed out to me, no, that was one of Kim's incarnations that, quote, died. That was one of her incarnations, was as a young black woman on the south side of Chicago that got killed. And that's what I was mourning. Or that's what we, Kim and I, were mourning. People, this is so much deeper than we think. It's nothing like we think. Like I said, the more I know, the more I realize I don't know. But I just give it to you as it comes. So that's our perspective on twin flame, or twin flame. You've never been alone. You're not alone. You've never been alone. And your twin flame is not outside of you, floating around in the universe, waiting for you to show up. I've heard people say, oh, your twin flame is on the higher dimensions and decided to come down here or stay up there while you're down here. So what that tells you, until you die, you're not going to ever meet your twin flame. So you might as well. So what are you going to do? Pine around for the rest of your existence in the 3D with the awareness that I'll never meet my twin flame? No, that's bullshit. That is separation again. There is no separation. There's only unity consciousness. And anything, any perspective that speaks, however deep and subtle, speaks of separation is bullshit, in my humble opinion. I watched the video today, this one guy that I used to follow, and then I just, you know what, dude, I'm sorry, but I don't agree with you. So I unsubscribed from his channel. Well, I listened to one of his videos today. I think it was just like the most recent one. And I'm still going, no. because I keep hearing separation. For me, that's the key. That's the benchmark. If you're still talking about if you're still talking about me and that it's about you, if the video is talking to you or talking to me and talking about just me singularly and not me as a multidimensional being, and that we're all one, all of me is one, and all of me is my infinite multidimensionality is part of quote all that is, and there is no separation, that this is an illusion, then I'm sorry, but it's my prerogative, my divine sovereign choice not to interact with your data because I'm not in alignment with it. I'm not calling bullshit on you. I'm just not in alignment with you, and I wish you blessings on your journey. That's how I feel about pretty much everybody. There's very few people that I've run across. Very few people that are incarnating and inhabiting a human body that I've come across that feel this way. Only truly, most just only channeled entities do I hear this coming from. Because they're not limited to the third dimensional structures of duality and polarization and polarity and yada, yada, yada. Okay, this is farther than I meant it to be. But anyway, I love you. Blessings on your journey. And I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.